Hello and well met. This is Layron with the Fantasy Grounds Academy. Today I'm going to take a look at the Fallout rule set in Fantasy Grounds. And what I want to do is create a bit of immersion. So, in other words, I want to create some content that will help players feel more involved with the game. And also an exercise in creating content, because that's one of the things that you end up doing as you get more and more familiar with the product, or if you want to make your own homebrew. So it's kind of important to understand the type of tools that are out there, and also that, it's not entirely difficult to make stuff. So I wanted to kind of go through that with you, and also just kind of learning about the platform in general, and kind of figuring out where exactly the tools would be for doing this sort of thing. So there's going to be a kind of a multi-stage thing. So what I'm ultimately trying to do is create a short video that I can stream, or not necessarily stream, but that I can use for my games, and I could share that with the players as an image. And all it's going to be is a loop of a terminal. So when they come up to a terminal in the Fallout rule set, they can look at it and go, okay, and then we'll worry about the code and all that sort of stuff as far as like role playing goes. So what I want to show you is that I have this video pad software, and all I'm going to do is edit this video. I'm going to clean this up, but essentially I'll play this. There's really no audio, but what it is just basically a terminal that you can basically make for your game, where you can show this password and then the series of letters and such, so that you can try to decode this. So what I've done is you can take the text from the website, and the website is actually, I have that handy. So the website is called Fallout 4 Terminal. And essentially you can run this, and it kind of emulates the green screen. And all I did is take a screen capture of this particular content so that it can be used in my game. So I would take the text from this content here, copy and paste it, and then what I did is I used ChatGPT in this case to just capture this, or you can take a screenshot of this and use that as your example. So what I want to do is go into the terminal passcode here, and these are some of the information that I have for cracking the code. And I'll put this into Fantasy Grounds for my notes, so that when we come to that situation, I'll have all this information. Or if you don't want to copy and paste the text, you can always take a screenshot of the image itself. So what I would do is in the video software, since I have it maximized already, I can take this and just find a screen capture program. So I can pause that and then just copy and paste this information and paste that into the ChatGPT to analyze. So what I would do is I have a little program. It's called Greenshot, and essentially you can use it to capture screen images. So I'd probably take this, capture that, and then I can use this for a graphic, but then I can also take this and put it into ChatGPT and have it analyze the image, and then I can even have it probably create a new one. So we'll see what it does. So I want to take the information that I just copied from the website. In this case, I copied the image from the actual rendered content, and then I'm going to take and paste it into ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it to analyze the photo and create, and I'll say crack the passcode if applicable. So I'm just going to use this as an example. You can do however you like, but this is just a way to incorporate the tools that are available out there to enhance your games. So it's going to look at the photo. It'll pick up those characters and the text, hopefully, and then it will give me some output, some feedback based off this. So these are kind of like what it gave me before, because I gave it the actual text. So these are the likely candidates when you have this type of information. So you can kind of incorporate this into your game. So I would take this stuff here and, maybe copy and paste it into Fantasy Grounds. So what I'm going to do is create a scenario for the Fallout rule set, incorporating the terminal code above and the challenges. So I'm just going to have it write a little thing for it so I don't have to sit there and rewrite it. So I'm going to have it take that information and put it into kind of like a story format, and then it's going to give me this, and then I'll just kind of build off of that, and kind of I can change it up a little bit. I don't have to, I don't have to do anything particular with it, but this is basically an easy, quick way to incorporate this sort of tools and information. So, and you may not agree with the output. You may not like what it gives you, but at least you have a starting point. So I'm going to take all this information here, and this is going to be, I don't care if it's in the Forgotten Bunker or not. I just kind of want the text so I have something to work with. And then I'll go into Fantasy Grounds and put that in my notes for now, and then get back to it later. So if I'll go to notes, and I'm going to make some terminal notes. So this will be 01.00, and I'll just say terminal data notes, something like that. Okay, and then once I have that, I'm going to hit Control V as in Victor, and then just kind of keep that there. And I'll use that later for, whatever I need it for, but it will be tied into that image, which is the main thing. So this would help with that. Now what I'm going to do is go into the video, and you can kind of make your own little video here. So what I might do is start at this frame here. So I'm going to take this information and delete that out. And then what I want to do is see how much of this I need to keep. And then once that happens, then once it recycles through, I'm going to go ahead and see where I need to actually cut the video. Because all I'm trying to do is get like just a short little clip. That's all I want. So far, it doesn't look like, okay, that's the part where I wanted it. So let me pause that. Go back here. Right about there. So that's the information that I want to keep up to. And then I can just take this and take this whole information here. Let's see, where are we at? I want to make sure right there. Okay. So all this information up to right there, I'm going to get rid of that. Now let's see what we got here. So I got to go back. So all I'm trying to do is capture this beginning part up till it gets to this password, and then once that mouse appears, I want to get out of it. Yeah, so right in here, right there. So the rest of this can go too. I don't need this. So all I need is this little clip. So that's really all I was after. So I'll take this little clip here and play it and just kind of test it out. So let's go back to the beginning. Perfect. So what I'll do with that is create a short little video file that's going to be used by the Shutter encoder. So all I'm going to do is loop this. So I'll take that and essentially just use this as a loop, and then I'll take and put it in Fantasy Grounds. So when the players get to that point in the game, I'll show this picture, which will actually just be a little video clip, almost like using an animation file. But in this case, it'll just be this. And then they'll see that, and then it will keep continuing on with the game itself. So I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And what I'll do is export it. So I'm going to save the project just in case I want to go back and fix it. So I'm going to put terminal, and then I'll put, I want to make sure I put Fallout, because if I don't, I'll forget what it was for. All right, so this is just a short little video clip that I'm going to export and create this for the Fallout game. So once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and export it. So menu, let's see, I want to go to export video, and I'm just going to make a video file, and I want it to be, I don't care what that is, but I want it to be at least 1080. That way it's legible in Fantasy Grounds. I don't need an overlay, so I can hide that. And then it's just going to be like a couple seconds, you know. This is an 11 megabyte video, so that's kind of what I'm looking at is, you know, does it need to be that big? Probably not, but when we compress it, it'll basically make it a lot smaller. So I'm gonna hit create, and hopefully it's going to render that. So let's see. So we do export video file, and then it's going to FG Academy. Okay, so here we go. Here's Fallout terminal. Yeah, it's 9 seconds, so that's not bad. Okay, so with that in mind, what I'm going to do is bring up the shutter encoder, and I'm going to convert that into a short video for Fantasy Grounds. So I'm going to take this file. There's no audio associated with it, so that's the only thing about Unity right now for Fantasy Grounds is you don't have the audio. But now what I'm going to do is take and go to the shutter encoder. Here's the file itself. I'm going to go down and choose the function. Let's go to, it has to be VP8. And then what we can do is you can even scale it. You can change the size in here. I'm not going to mess with that too much, but I want to go to max quality. For this, I don't want any audio at all. So audio settings, where it says Opus, I'm going to say no audio. So strip the audio out. There isn't any audio I need in there. So no audio, period. And transitions, I don't think I need that. I could do some transitions where it kind of fades in and out. I'm not going to worry about that. Image sequence, yeah, so I'm not going to mess with that. But I might put in something like, you know, to have it loop, but I don't really need to do that for this. It's like a one-time thing. So if I keep looping it, it's going to be annoying. So I'll just leave it as it is. So as it is right now, it'll be good. And then once I'm done with all the parameters, you just want to make sure it's in WebM VP8 format. So this is kind of like what you do with any other video file that you want to convert. A lot of people are doing animated tokens and maps. Well, I'm just doing a little prop here for this specific game, which is Fallout. So once you're done with that, then you just hit start, and it'll convert it for you into the proper format. And once it does that, then I'm going to put it in Fantasy Grounds to test it out, see if it was worth all that work. Okay, so this is what? Okay, that's the VP8 file. So I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to go into Fantasy Grounds and check it out. So I'm going to close this. Here's the Fallout rule set. I put all the links for these tools at the end of the video, so when the video's over, if you guys want to check any of this out, this is the Fallout 2D20 rule set Atlassian wiki guide. So if you guys are interested in that, I got that in there. This is the shutter encoder. This is what I use to convert the file. And then here's my chat GPT thing when it came to the terminal. So we use that to kind of make the code breaking part of it. And then I'll incorporate that into the narrative of the game. And then here's the website that actually generated the code. So you can you can update this too. You can make your own stuff. So that's kind of cool. So I included that as well. And let's see, so I'm going to leave that website. And now that's all I have left. So now what I'm going to do is go into assets and go make sure I'm in images, which I am. Go back to the home button, go to campaign, and these are all my assets for this particular campaign. But what I'm going to do is go to this folder, and this will take me to the back end of Fantasy Grounds. And I want to make sure that I'm in the right thing, so let me refresh that and make sure I'm in images, and then campaign, and then folder. All right, so what I'm going to do is make a new subfolder. I'm going to call this Fallout Props, because that's basically all it is. It's just a an overzealous prop there where it's probably unnecessary, but to get that immersion that you're looking for in your games, it might be useful to do this kind of thing. And then hit Control V, that puts that video file in there, and it is no longer 11 megabytes. Now it's down to like 4.5. So that's better than what it was before. And that's roughly the recommended size for little clips like that for the style guide and the developer's guide for Fantasy Ground. So if you have animation files, I think they said 10 megs is about the max you want. If it gets any bigger than that, then it's kind of gets hard on your players and all that stuff. But anyways, so once that's in there, I'm going to hit the refresh. So whenever you change anything in Fantasy Grounds, you want to hit the refresh. Here's my props, and here's the terminal. So then what I'll do is I'll create a image record with it. So if I go to images, because this is just a preview right now, so what I'll do is I'll make my own group, and I'm going to call it props or something like that. And then that'll be where I put all my little miscellaneous stuff. And then once I have that, I'll get out of the edit mode and then go to props. And then I'm going to take this image from the assets and drag it over here. And now I actually have the image in the campaign record. So now when you get to the terminal or the spot in the game where the players have to hack into the terminal, you have this image you could share with them. And that was the whole reason for doing that. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but I like the immersion capabilities of it, and I think that it helps players kind of get more invested in the process and in the game itself. So that's why I did that, because normally I wouldn't go through all that, but this is kind of cool. And what you can do is link this to your content. So like my notes over here that I had with the terminal, you can have that there, and then just use this as my guide here, and then you can link this to wherever this comes up for the terminal room or for the station. So you can take this and let's see, I'm going to lock it, and maybe I'll resize this frame so it's not, it doesn't have to be that big. And then right click on it and go to view, and then expand it like that. And then take this link and link it to wherever you need it to come up when you're playing. So I would share this with my players when it came time to hacking into the terminal. And then all this text here is documented here, so I can make up whatever password is required. And I can actually reuse this prop over and over. So it's not always just a one-time thing. I can actually use this to help embellish the game and make them more immersive. So all I did was went to a website. I did a search online. I looked for Fallout Terminal Generator. There's a few others out there. I like this one because it's a lot smoother. It looks closer to the real video game experience. And the fact that it was just a short little video clip made it that much easier. And then I just I used OBS to capture the video from the website. And then I took that information and chopped it up in a smaller video. And then I converted it to a VP8 file, took the audio out, and there we go. Little bit of work. So all of that together took me probably about 15 minutes to do. I don't think I would do this all the time, but definitely adds to the immersion for your games. And you don't always need to have video spells and video tokens, but if you need little props occasionally, I think this works really well. And this is really all I was trying to say, is that you can really go to the extra mile. Like if I was doing a paid game, I'd probably do something like this. This would make it really cool for users to tune into this and see stuff like this occasionally. I don't think I would do it for everything. It definitely would be too much work for me, but doing something like this just temporarily, just for the fun of it, and kind of for every once in a while, like this might be a critical piece of the adventure where I would introduce where they definitely need to get past this door and they have to hack the terminal. And what's really nice is that the chat GPT helped me organize the information, and it talked about the lock picking, explosives, talked about the hazards, all kinds of cool stuff. So it wasn't just creating images, but then if I wanted to take it the next step, or go the extra mile, in other words, what I could do is go back to ChatGPT and I could say, create an image of a vault dweller trying to hack into a Fallout computer terminal, and then I'll say something like, I want it to have some kind of context. So what I'd probably do is say a vault dweller player character trying to hack into a Fallout computer terminal. Use the image above for inspiration, because just for the screen, for the green screen terminal. And then I'm going to ask it to, I'll say, create a detailed image. And then I want to say something like expert Fallout digital artwork. I'll say character artwork. And then that will help with the style of it. And then I probably just want it to, I'll just let it do its thing, but then I'll say something about the background. So this said a bunker, so I'll say in the background is a rusted and post-apocalyptic bunker chamber or something like that. So that way it kind of has an idea of the background. And then I want to say something like dim lighting, something like that. Dim indoor lighting. We'll see if it doesn't. It may not give me what I want out of it, but that would be to take it to the next step. If you wanted to add more to this, you probably could. So I could probably actually take that little terminal and add it to an image that has a green screen and embed it in there, kind of layer it on top, make it look like it's part of the image too. You can do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so something like this. If you're good with Photoshop or something like that, you could take this image and layer that video file over that and make it look like this character is interacting with it to kind of bring this to life. So you could do something like that to increase the, your immersion with the game. But that, I don't necessarily like this photo. It's okay. It would work. I mean, it's a throwaway image. It's not like I'm gonna publish it or anything. But Vault 311, I don't think so. So what I would probably do there is take that out, and I'd just say change to, I don't know what vault. What was it, the one we just had? 33. Maybe it'll fix that, because that doesn't make any sense. And this is kind of the thing that generative AI does, is it will get you close, but it's not perfect, and it does some goofy stuff. So maybe it will fix that. I don't know. We'll see. Because it says 311. I don't think there's a vault 311 or anything close to it. But you may want a unique number. Yeah, see, it fixed that. So you can do that to kind of fix the, some of the little mistakes that it makes. And then like this part right here, if you didn't like, this hand looks all messed up, like that's another artifact that you'll get from generative AI. Sometimes it just does a lot better than it used to, but you still get these weird goofy things like that. So I would probably take this and just kind of do that. And you want to make sure, if you're going to edit this like in any shape or fashion, you want to make sure you give it some stuff around for context. So I want to say fix the pip boy, or add pip boy and hand on key terminal, something like that. And then maybe it'll fix that, because sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. It has to have context, and that's kind of the issue with that editor, is if you don't give it the surrounding context and you just highlight the image that you want to fix, it's not going to know how to fix it. If you give it a little bit more around it, it's going to understand that. So let's see what it does. We'll see if it fixes it or not. I don't really care, but I'm just showing you the, what you can do with it. So this is a interesting photo, actually. Once I get it done, I might even actually use it in the campaign. And then what's nice is, like I said, if you are good with editing and stuff, you can take that terminal picture that I had and embed it in here so it looks like the video. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. At least it's not all deformed. So that's fine. I can handle that. It looks like he's wearing a glove. So that's a little better. This thing over here, I have no idea what this is. So I'm just going to take this and wipe this out. It looks really weird. And I'm just going to say fix. Fix it. Because I have no idea what the heck that's supposed to be. It's probably power switch or something, like a lever that you pull. But it doesn't look right. It just looks all messed up. So you can sit here all day and nitpick this and, try to edit it. But really, you're going to get the feel just by, looking at the main photo. I don't think you have to be that precise, especially for a homebrew game. That's not going to matter that much. But I might take this information here, the green screen, and blot it out, and then put my image of the terminal that I used in there instead. And then that way, yeah, see, that's a lot cleaner now. So this looks way, way better. So this is kind of something you might use in your game. And then you could put this in Canva and try to blend it in, try to make it look like it's part of the image. So you could take the, whatever that was, my terminal thing, and try to blend that in here. Or in Fantasy Grounds, you can probably layer this with another image. You can do some pretty cool stuff with it. But I think that's good enough for now. That would probably get you where you need. And then, of course, I would take that image, whatever that image is. So that's, I guess, an image that you can show during the time when you're trying to hack into the computer system. Gives your players some immersion on how they can go in and get into the terminal, and then you could show them that little video. You can actually link it to it to make it look like it's part of that scene. So that's really kind of like building props and scenes for stuff in your games, and that kind of adds to the immersion for people who are new to Fantasy Grounds, or if you're like you said, you're doing a paid game. I think that's where that would come in. I don't know if I'd do it for everyday type things, but definitely cool concept. There's lots of stuff you can do to make your games fun, make them interesting, make them memorable, all those sort of things. So hopefully that's helpful. I've been rambling enough. I think I'm starting to repeat myself. So anyways, folks, hopefully that's helpful. And like I said, I'll put the resource links for all the tools that I used here and some basic stuff. And then the rule set link, I put that in there. I used our affiliate on that. And then, like I said, I'll take this image, I'll put it into Fantasy Grounds under the assets, and then you got to go into the folder. And then what I might do is create another folder for like NPCs or handouts. That's what I'll call it. So folder, we'll call this handouts, because that's basically what that image is. And then I want to rename this. You don't want this really super long name. Fantasy Grounds doesn't like that. So I'll do Vault Dweller Terminal, something like that. And then I usually lead it with something. So I put HA or HNDT or something like that, means handout. And the reason I did that is because I want it to organize itself in the Fantasy Grounds structure for files when I add it. So now what I'm going to do is hit this refresh, go back to this campaign folder. Here's the handouts, and then there's the image itself, and then add that to the campaign. So if I go to images and take this thing here and drag it, drop it into the images area, there we go. So now we have this image that we can use to show the players. So you can do stuff like that too. What's interesting here is you can also link this image here to the screen. So if you didn't want to embed it and you just kind of wanted a reference link, only you're going to see that. So when you share this image, you can pop this up and share this as well with your players. So you can kind of do something like that, kind of do it in steps. So anyways, hopefully that's kind of cool and helpful to you guys. I don't know if that's something you guys are interested in. I've tried to make it interesting and different and not just kind of going over the same D&D stuff all the time. I don't mind doing that, but occasionally it's nice to break out and look at other stuff. And you could do this with any rule set. It doesn't have to be Fallout. There's other sci-fi rule sets that might benefit. I think there is an Alien one, so if you like the Alien rule set, you could do stuff like that. If you are into some of the like Traveler and Starfinder, you could probably do stuff like this for that too. So take care, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.